Hello everyone, Heinlein here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first installment of the UH-1 Huey tutorial series. And in this first video we are going to do a cold start. Let's just start with a couple of key bindings. And as you see, you need to have your collective binded. And of course your flight control cycle pitch and roll, and of course your pedals or yaw. And I also have my throttle bounded, but if you need to choose between the collective and the throttle, you go for the collective. If you can't bind your throttle, you can just use key commands. And you need the start up engine key binded. You can bind it to collective, but I prefer to have it just as a keyboard command. Now let's start up with getting some power to the aircraft. We're going to set this one to AC phase and the VM switch to ESS bus, and we're going to set the main generator on like so, and we're going to flip this one down, and the inverter to main, right click, and now we're going to push the battery or flip the battery switch. And you can hear there's a lot of noise, so let's get rid of that. The noise you are hearing is the low RPM audio warning. The next thing we're going to do is to check our QNH by checking the briefing. It's, as you can see, it is 299.2, so standard air pressure. And this airfield is pretty much at sea level, so this is correct. Next up we're going to turn on our radios, the UHF radio, and set the frequency right here. And we're going to turn on the VHF radio and the FM radio, like so. If you're flying single player, you can just ignore this step, but if you're flying multiplayer and need to communicate, this is important. And of course we need to put on some anti-collision lights, so the people outside know that we are doing something here. Alright, let's close our doors by pressing left control and Charlie. Like so. Now we are going to start our engines, so we're going to flip the main fuel switch. And you can hear the pumps are starting. And now if we need to go down to the throttle right here, left click and drag, like so, and put it back to idle. Oops, like so. Again, if you don't have it binded to your collective, as you see I have, you can use keyboard bindings for this one. Just put it back to idle and make sure that the collective is down. And at this point we can press the start engine switch, and you can hear that the engine are starting to spool. And keep an eye on your engine instruments, the gas temperature, exhaust temperature, torque is coming up, RPM is coming up. And at this point we can let go of the starter switch. You need to press and hold, in case I forgot to tell you. And check the engine instruments. Everything is good. Now we are going to increase our throttle to full. And you can see that the engine is stabilizing, and still all the engine instruments looks good. Now you can see that there is a couple of warning lights going on. It is the IFF and the hydraulic pressure. The hydraulic pressure you get rid of with pressing this one. And we're also going to, while we're here, we're going to right click the force trim, like so. This is important in order to trim the aircraft. And to get rid of the last indicator, we are going to flip this one to, what can you say, to low or normal. And as you can see, it's gone. At this stage, I'll also like to set up my weapons and my countermeasures. Right now we don't have any weapons right here, so I'll leave that for another video. But I like to flip the countermeasure switch, just in case we get shot at by a manpad or something. And in case it is cold, I like to flip the de-icing switch and the pitot hit, like so. To set our radar altitude indicator, we need to flip this switch back here. It did take me a lot of time to actually find this switch to get this thing to work. I had to research a lot actually to actually discover how this one works. We're going to flip this one and set the low altitude warning, and the high one, let's say 2000. Oh, one last thing before I finish off this video. You can see that the master caution light is still lit, even though we have no warnings, and that is pretty simple to get rid of. You just move here and right click to reset, and now it's out. So at this point we are ready to go, and I'll think that is enough for this video. Thank you all for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.